Some people simply can't stand staying at home. It feels suffocating, monotonous. The silence weighs on them. The walls feel too close, and there's this constant sense that life is happening somewhere out there, not here. They're always looking for a reason to go out. To walk, to drive, to meet someone, to switch the scenery. At first glance, it seems like just a personality trait. But if you look deeper, there's an entire psychology behind it, complex, layered, and far more interesting than just, I like being outside. Today we were going to break down why some people are so driven to constantly leave the house. Why staying alone in four walls feels unbearable to them. Why they feel truly alive only when they're moving, when something is happening around them. And most importantly, why this isn't just a preference or temperament, but a result of how the brain, the psyche, and past experiences shape a person's relationship with space, silence, and themselves. If you recognize yourself, this breakdown will help you understand the real forces behind your inner restlessness. If you recognize someone you know, you'll finally understand what drives them. Let us start with the most important thing. People who hate staying home aren't actually going somewhere. They're going away from something, away from their thoughts, away from silence, away from everything that rises to the surface when there's nothing left to distract the mind. Home is a space where noise disappears, where you can't hide behind tasks, conversations, trips, or external stimulation. And because of that, for some people home is a kind of mirror. Except it doesn't reflect their face, it reflects their inner world. And if inside they feel anxiety, emptiness, uncertainty, or chronic stress, being home amplifies it tenfold. Because there's nothing left to drown it out. A brain used to constant escape suddenly faces everything it has been running from. That's when the feeling appears, the walls are closing in. I feel weird, I need to get out. But that's only one layer. There's another type, people who aren't running from thoughts, but who simply need constant stimulation. Their brain works on higher activity levels. They are sensation seekers. They need movement, change, the feeling that the day wasn't wasted. These people are often energetic, but burn out quickly, because they keep themselves in a constant state of inner mobilization. Resting is hard for them. Slowing down is uncomfortable. Being still feels unnatural. Many don't even notice that this pattern began in adolescence, when home didn't feel safe, but instead felt like pressure, conflict, or strict rules. The subconscious remembers these emotional states. And when the person grows up, their body reacts to home the same way it once did. Tension, restlessness, the urge to leave. Even if the home is peaceful now, even if they live alone, the brain doesn't operate on facts, it operates on memory. There is also a third reason. People who avoid staying home often feel alive only when they're moving. Action becomes their way to feel important, needed, or simply present. When you're home, time seems to dissolve. Hours slip by unnoticed. And suddenly the mind starts whispering, what did you accomplish? Where are you going? Are you wasting your life? This feeling that real life is happening out there pushes them out the door again and again, even if there's nowhere specific to go. But let's go deeper. This constant need to leave the house is frequently rooted in emotional hunger. The person needs external impressions to regulate their emotional state. This is not a whim, it's self-regulation. There's a term for this, self-stimulation. It means that a person seeks external stimuli to trigger dopamine and reduce anxiety. A walk, a drive, a change of scenery, these reset the brain. People who struggle to stay home often use the outside world as a psychological switch. What's fascinating is that these people often appear confident and active, but in reality, they may be far more sensitive than others realize. External activity becomes a shield, a way to protect the inner, more fragile emotional landscape. When someone is constantly in motion, they feel in control. Movement creates the illusion of stability that they don't always feel inside. There's another important detail. Such people rarely view home as a restorative space. For them, it's not a cozy refuge. It drains their energy. It makes them passive. So the brain suggests, go where you feel alive. They seek cafes, streets, crowds, noise, motion, because that's where their internal battery charges. But there's a downside. The constant escape from home eventually becomes an escape from oneself. And sooner or later the person notices something. The outside world no longer feels as good as before. The outings feel more like an obligation than a desire. This is a sign that avoidance has stopped working. These people often don't know how to rest, how to stop, how to be in silence. Yet silence is sometimes the only way to finally hear yourself. And this is the hardest part, turning off external motion and facing internal motion instead. Interestingly, these people almost always possess great inner strength. They are observant, curious, emotionally perceptive, but they don't always direct this strength inward. Usually they direct it outward. They communicate easily, but struggle with solitude. They improvise easily, but struggle with stillness. They live well in motion, but struggle to organize their inner world. And here's the paradox. The more a person avoids being home, the more home becomes a source of discomfort. The more they rely on external stimulation, the harder it becomes to enjoy simple, quiet moments. And the less energy they ultimately have for real, meaningful living. But there is a bright side. People who can't stay home are usually incredibly receptive to life's possibilities. They notice things others don't. They feel the world. They feel the city. They feel the movement. They catch opportunities, ideas, encounters that others miss entirely. Their lives are rich, eventful, emotionally vivid because of this constant desire to venture outward. But true power comes when they finally learn balance, when movement stops being an escape and becomes a choice. When home stops being suffocating and becomes a place of clarity. This doesn't mean staying home all day. It means not being afraid of quiet anymore. Then movement becomes intentional, not compulsive. Then home becomes peace, not pressure. Then the person chooses to go out, not because they must, but because they want to. And here's the final message. People who hate staying home actually have enormous inner potential. Their energy is their superpower. Their sensitivity is their compass. Their drive is their path to a bright, emotionally rich life. But when they combine that drive with the ability to be at peace, they become several times stronger. Because they stop running. They start choosing. And they stop depending on the world to feel alive. Home stops being a cage, it becomes a platform. A place to recharge. A place they choose freely, just like they choose the world outside.